Hi everyone, it's me, Nick, the Jaded book burner. I don't actually burn books yet. And it has been a hot minute. I think a week since I uploaded a video. Is that a hot minute? I don't know. Sorry if you can hear some background noise. I don't know if you can. Dishwasher's going off. But anyway, I got tagged by the lovely Booktube Goddess for the Wonder tag, which was created by Enchanted reader. Wonder is the name of the new Shawn Mendes album, and Shawn Mendes, as far as I know, he's a singer. I don't know that much about him, other than a lot of people like him. They think he's attractive. I believe he may have had a fling with Camila Cabello. Not sure. But anyway, Enchanted Reader created this tag based around Shawn Mendes' newest album, Wonder. And each of the tag questions are related to the songs on the album. I haven't listened to them. I've only listened to one of his songs, I believe, and that was again with Camila Cabello. It's the one where they're like, the music videos where they're like walking in place, not like this. Gotta go fast. It's like, I know what you did last summer. No, that's a movie. Whatever. But anyway, so without further ado, let's get into it. I had the tag questions up on my other older laptop, which is like an iron lung. But anyway, so first question. Wonder, a book you can't stop thinking about. A book I just can't stop thinking about would probably... Can't stop thinking about. Wow. I don't know which to choose. There's a lot, but I'm gonna just go with this one because I'm still speculating on the book that comes after next to it. But it is Harrow the Ninth by Tamsin Muir, the sequel to Gideon the Ninth, and the second book overall in the Locked Tomb trilogy. Like I said, there was other books I was thinking about, but since this one has another book after it, which there will be other stuff happening, that's the one I most will think about, or am thinking about. For those who don't know, the Locked Tomb trilogy is basically about necromancers in space in the far future. And in the first book, Gideon the Ninth, Gideon Knave, who is basically an indentured servant to Harrow Nonsigenimus, don't know if I got that right, daughter of the Ninth House, they go to the first house, the house of the Undying Emperor, to become a lictor, which is some kind of superpowered necromancer. But along the way, people start getting murdered, and they start learning things about the lictorial process and whatnot. And in the second book, the first book we followed Gideon, but in the second book we follow Harrow. And there's two different viewpoints going on. One in the past of what happened in Gideon the Ninth, but not exactly as we read it in Gideon the Ninth. And then in the present, through a very well written and kind of flowery, but I like flowery prose, second person. Basically, it is very similar to the first one in that there's this kind of gothic murder mystery going on. Not murder mystery, but there's Harrow in the second book is now in the Mithraeum, which is the Undying Emperor's ship. And she's there along with Ianthe Tridentarius, the only other necromancer to have survived the events in the first book, and three other necromancers that ascended to lictorhood, Mercy Morn, Augustine, and Ortis. Is it Ortis? Goddess? Or I think it's Ortis. And they're there with the Undying Emperor, but Harrow starts seeing things that the other necromancers can't see. As she trains in her lictorial hood powers, there's things going on that she keeps seeing the body in the tomb. And the way the second prose is written, the second person prose, is written, it's just so well and mysterious and personal. And the ending was just like, mind-blowing. Like, this whole book, Harold the Ninth, is just such a freaking mind trip, and I can't get over it. Like, I'm just so expecting to see what's going to happen in the third and final book, which unfortunately got pushed out to next year, but I can't stop theorizing about what's going on and who's doing what, but I can't stop thinking about it. The second, Higher, a sequel that was better than the original. That would have to be, for me, The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. It is the second book in the Raven Cycle series and the sequel to The Raven Boys. Like I said when I first did the newbie booktube tag, the Raven Cycle series was one of the books I read to finally start getting back into reading, especially for pleasure. The first book, introduces Blue Sergeant and Gansey and Noah and Adam Parrish and Ronan Lynch and the mystical mayhaps that go around in their small town of... Where did they live again? Henry, Virginia? I'm so sorry. The Raven Cycle fandom's going to get so mad at me. But anyway, basically there's this mysterious forest that kind of acts on its own, and each one of the boys and Blue herself have like different abilities. Like Blue herself is kind of like a magnifier for certain psychic abilities. And in the first book, they, basically meet the forest and try to protect it from a professor who was teacher at the boys' school who was trying to, sorry if you can hear the dog in the background, trying to use it for some of his own purpose. And in the second book, The Dream Thieves, we follow Ronan Lynch, my favorite character, who is, he has the ability to dream things and then pull whatever he dreams exactly as it is into real life. He comes from kind of a broken family. He has two brothers, an older one, Declan, and a younger one, Matthew. And their father is dead. In fact, it even says in the book that... hi, Duncan, my dog. Duncan. In the second book, I believe, it even says that Ronan found his dad dead. And in the Dream Thieves, we meet the person who did kill him, the Gray Man? Gray Man? I believe that's what he's called. Oh, God. I can't remember anything, even though I said I liked it. And his mother was dreamed by his father. He actually inherited his dreaming powers from his father, Neil. And his mother was a dream, and his father had kids with her. Or when he died, she basically, like all his other dream stuff, just stopped working, basically. Technically not dead, but just kind of like almost catatonic. But anyway, we learned so much about Ronan in this, and Maggie Stiefvater's writing for a YA book is just so mesmerizing and dreamlike. The way she describes Ronan's emotions, his personality, hers is very much show don't tell kind of prose, and just his journey from being this sharp, angry guy to revealing he does have a sensitivity within him, but it comes out very volatile because he's kind of protective of those he cares about. His personal journey in that book, it continues in the other books, but Dream Thieves is more so his focus. It is just so captivating. He's also a gay Catholic, he's like a church-going Catholic guy. I have rarely read any YA book or even any adult book where there is an LGBT plus person of faith. And that was just so different. And Ronan is very different to other gay male characters in YA series. A lot of, not all, but a lot of, gay male characters in YA series, they're usually, I guess you could say soft. Don't want to say effeminate, but, they're not really the big tough guys or whatever. But Ronan is different. He is kind of like this masculine, very strong fighter kind of guy. And I thought that was refreshing because just like, straight people, LGBT plus people come in a variety of personalities and appearances and visages. So I really give Maggie Stiefvater props to that. And just how she wrote Ronan, The Dream Thieves is my favorite out of that series, and it's better than the Raven Boys because obviously the Raven Boys was an introduction to the whole series, but the Dream Thieves just kicks off the mystical, supernatural know-how and just the world. Third, 24 hours. A book you can read in 24 hours. None. I cannot read a book in 24 hours. I'm sorry. Not even a novella that I read on my Kindle. Hi, Duncan. I can't read a book in 24 hours. I can't. Even the books that I've really loved and been engrossed by, I can't read in 24 hours. Not like that. I don't have the time to read in 24 hours. I like to sleep. I'm sorry. 4. Teach Me How to Love. A book with a steamy romance. I haven't read a lot of books with romance as the central portion. I don't even read romance books. Steamy. Hey guys, you're probably wondering why I've suddenly changed clothes. That is because it is the next day. Yesterday when I was filming this, my parents came home a bit early and barged in, and I feel really self-conscious about filming these videos with them. They would ask a ton of questions. They don't even know this channel exists. But, so yeah. So back to the questions. Again, number 4, Teach Me How to Love. A book with a steamy romance. That would probably be Cushiel's Dart by Jacqueline Carey. The romance between Phaedra and Jocelyn. Yeah, that guy. That is, again, I don't read a lot of romance-centric books, but that was probably the most steamiest romance I have ever read. 5. Call My Friends. Your best friend's favorite book. My best friend would probably be Heather, a classmate of mine from my master's program. And she, before, how we met is we both studied at Louisville Seminary, a place where you can get masters in divinities and religion. And she, before that, actually taught English and literature at the University of Kentucky. And her favorite book, I believe her favorite book is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Yeah, me and her, we have had a ton of discussions on the Brontes and Jane Eyre. I prefer Villette, but yeah, Jane Eyre is probably her favorite book. She just can't get over the psychology of it and everything. She loves like feminist and psychoanalytical reinterpretations of it. Not reinterpretations, but interpretations of it. And I have read it, I liked it, but again, Villette's my favorite. Okay. 6. Dream. A book with a long-distance relationship. This might be a bit of a stretch, but maybe Half Bad by Sally Green, and technically its sequel, Half Wild, where in that book, the main character, Nathan, he's a half black, he's half a white witch, half a black witch, and those terms aren't racial in that story. White witches refer to the good witches, black witches refer to the bad witches, but he's half black, half white of witches, and there's a girl that he is in love with for a while, Annalise. They eventually break up, but in the first 2 books, there is kind of this long distance feel he has for her. Some things happen with his friend, we shall call Gabriel, that, Annalise never learns about, but I would consider, just again, from what I have read, that would probably be a book with a long distance relationship, because he does get separated from her and he still pines for her and everything. And I know that series isn't everyone's favorite, but I still liked it, despite the semi-problematic ending, but whatever. 7. Dream. No. 7. Song for No One. A character breakup that destroyed you. Oh, you can probably hear Duncan again, my dog. That would probably be Charlotte Bronte's Villette, her final book. And the main character, Lucy Snow, pines for this doctor. I think his name is Jonathan Graham, something like that. The doctor, and she pines for him forever. When she's first an au pair to his much younger sister, to even years later when the sister has grown up and she's now teaching at an all-girls school in Belgium, and they technically never were. I guess they kind of were and weren't an official couple, but she's really head over heels with him. But then eventually they go their separate ways because I believe he's betrothed to another girl, or he takes a job elsewhere. I can't remember, but that really, hurt me because Charlotte Bronte and Villette is so personal with Lucy's struggle, and Lucy's just pretty much absolutely devastated by it. And, we've all had that feeling of not being to be able to be with someone, and it just freaking hurts. 8. I don't even know if I had these in the right number anymore. 8. Monster. Your favorite villain. I don't get. My favorite villain would probably. You probably heard Duncan yawning there. I don't know. My favorite villain would probably be. I'm not gonna lie. It's my favorite villain is probably. Sorry if you can hear the washer and dryer going off in the background. Why is there always noise? Okay. So, favorite villain is probably going to be Saruman from the Lord of the Rings. Just, ooh, how he pushed those hobbits. Well, he didn't push the hobbits around. I don't think he really ever met them. But how he constructed the Urukai and just, ooh, and how he just forsaked all of humanity and all that. Just, again, I'm more influenced by the movie version than the book version, but yeah, Saruman's probably the best villain I've read and ever. 9? Again, I don't know the numbers. 305, an unexpected romance between characters. Unexpected romance between characters. Duncan, you need to stop. These questions are so romance-centric. I don't. Romance, unexpected romance. I guess because I'm reading it right now. I'm reading Siege and Storm, the second book in the original Grisha trilogy. I guess the romance between Genya and David. I didn't expect that. I didn't think. I know the series has long, or that trilogy has long been over since I've started reading it, but I didn't expect those two to sort of kind of hit it off. I just thought they would, be those background characters that, were just there. So they're cute to me. They're currently separated in Siege and Storm. He's currently at the Little Palace, I believe they called, and he's working on that big mirror thing that Alina's going to shoot the Darkling with. Pew! And then Genya is with the Darkling, probably drowned at sea, and she was apparently abused by the king and queen. But, that's an unexpected romance for me. 10. Always Been You. A couple that is in-game / your ultimate fictional OTP. When I was younger, I used to read the new X-Men comics, and what I mean new X-Men is like the kids who studied at the Xavier Institute. under Cyclops and Miss Frost and all that. And the two characters that I shipped so hard were Laura Kinney, aka X-23, and Julian Keller, aka Helion. They were almost endgame. They went through so much stuff in their relationship, and then a certain Marvel comic author, looking at you, Marjorie Liu, broke them up. And they've and after that, again, so many comics have come out since then, because that was kind of not long time ago, but it's been a while. X-23, she's pretty much still popular. Julian Keller, Helion, he has unfortunately kind of faded to the background. He appears in some comics, but not centric. Ever since he got his hands cut off and replaced with mechanical hands, which I hate that. He's pretty much been faded. But there have been some other comics where it takes place in like the far future, and it's mentioned that X-23 and Julian have rekindled the relationship in some of those. So I'm waiting for the day for Marvel to push them back together. Probably won't, but I will always freaking love them. Because it's kind of like the new Jean Grey and Wolverine, but with the gender switch. So I will always love those two. But Marvel Comics, since you hate everyone and everything in existence, yeah. Did I say 9 or 10? I think I just said 10 for Always Be You. I am so sorry if these are all out of whack. 11. Piece of You. A book you would never lend out. I never lend out books in general just because they're mine and I paid for them and I really don't trust other people. But a book that I would never lend out if I had to lend out, but again, dishwasher, would probably be... I would probably never lend out my copy of Charlotte Bronte's Villette. Like, again, I love that book. It would... Yeah, I was gonna say White Fang, but I don't have a copy of that anymore. But Villette, I would never give anyone my copy of that. It's in the basement currently because we had to rearrange some things in the house and get new carpet. I should really pull it out unless I haven't already. But I would never give anyone my copy of Villette. And then 12, Look Up at the Stars. A book set on another planet / in another world. Ooh. I've read a bunch of those. Oh my god, why am I like this? Oh, come on. I would have to pick the novella. I just finished it. It is Silently but Very Fastly, by Catherine M. Valente. It is so beautifully written. It takes place partially in the far future, but then also in space. It's about this family of mixed Japanese and Italian ancestry, the Uoa Agostino family, where they are just like master inventors, and one of their members creates a house AI, and over the years and generations, that AI grows and becomes sentient and self-sufficient and almost like a person. And it switches between past and present, and also there's like these little fairy tales that the author has clearly based on other fairy tales but interjected in there. And the future present part, it's in space with the AI, with the youngest member of the family, or the most currently living in the family. And it is just so beautifully written. It's just, the whole book might as be another world. It's just so beautiful. And finally, 13. Can't Imagine. A book you can't live without. A book I can't live without. Duncan, stop walking around. All right. A book that I can't live without would probably be... A book that I can't... Excuse you, sir. A book that I can't live without would probably be... I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Winter Glass by Benjamin Sridwankau. It is a novella, a reimagining of the Snow Queen fairy tale by Hans Christian Andersen, but set in a fantasy based off Southeast Asia, where Japan, known as Yapon, because that's the Thai word for Japan, I believe. I may have gotten that wrong. Has colonized East Asia, and the setting is very much based off Chinese and Thai. The reason why I can't live without that book is just because the prose is so beautiful, and it did help propel me to get back into fantasy. It's very different from traditional fantasy. Its writing, it's beautiful. It encouraged me to have better writing and everything. And it's very inventive too, the way it tackles the. He's just walking around. It tackles colonialism and stuff from a Southeast Asian perspective is just so interesting. And I will always cherish that book because of what it taught me with writing and everything. And it's just a beautiful little book. So, anyway, thank you all so much for watching this. Thank you for the Booktube Goddess and for tagging me, and Enchanted Reader. Yeah, Enchanted Reader, thank you so much for creating this tag. And who I tag, I choose to tag... and if you all want to do this, I choose to tag Nicole Reads and Curly Top Reads. If you want to do it, you can. If you don't want to, that's fine. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you saw, ring that bell and hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.